yourself to begin with?
I'm Brian Vander Ark, and I sing for the Verve pipe.
And we're backstage at the Music Box in Cleveland where you're about to perform.
That's right.
Tell us about how the tour's been going.
It's been great off this album, playing some new material has been awesome, and then going back to the old material and dusting some of the stuff off of Villains and underneath these other albums has been good too.
Talk about the new record a little bit. Like it came out last year, I think, right?
It came out in late June last year. Yeah.
Okay. And what was your thinking going into it? What did you want to try to accomplish with it?
Well, we had done kids music for the last 6 years, so we wanted to go a little darker with the theme this time. When we were going to do an adult record, we thought, well, I'm tired of singing about kids and their shenanigans, so let's talk about death and murder and that kind of thing. So we decided to go a little dark with this one, and so far it's been great. I'm really proud of the record.
Right. Now, what was there something in particular that inspired the songs? Are they true stories and that sort of thing?
No, they are stories. They're made up. Most of the songs are made up stories, and that's pretty much what I do now. That's how I like to write. I like to write cinematically. I wrote Overboard with Jeff Daniels, the actor. He's a great.
Oh, really?
He's a great musician as well, and he's a story guy. And I sent him the idea for this song called Overboard, and he filled in the cracks, and made it great. So,
how did you end up meeting him in the first place?
I did because he was a fan of my Lawn Chairs and Living Rooms house concert series that I did. We did a documentary about that, and he saw it, and he wrote me and said, I love this idea of the house concerts and the whole thing. And then we just said, let's write together. And we did a little tour together, and then we wrote together. So.
He's from Michigan too, right?
Michigan guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had that connection, yeah. Yeah, we're both. He's steadfast Michigan guy like I am. I lived there my whole life.
Right. So where did you record the new record at?
We recorded in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
So in Michigan, right there by my home. A couple different studios up there. Kept it low budget, and had the guys come in when everybody could come in. They all play with other bands too, and
right.
Thought we'd give it a try. And now it's taken up a lot more of our time, so it's become the priority.
Right.
But the album went down pretty quick, 3 to 6 months.
You were doing some solo stuff too prior to that.
Yeah, I did 4 solo albums, and just was done with that. Thought, it's time to do another Verve Pipe rock record. So.
What do you like about being with the band as opposed to being on your own?
I've always loved the bombast of the bass and drums, and I miss that as a solo artist. I grew up with Harry Chapin's, Nick Drake's, and James Taylor, Cat Stevens stuff. And so I played a lot of Holiday Inn bars when I was a kid, playing, literally 16, 17 years old in the Holiday Inn bars, playing cover tunes and finger picking and that kind of thing. And that's how I write too. But I felt like once I started the band, I was like, oh, I love this feeling, the energy of the band around me.
Right.
And as the band got bigger and added keyboards and percussion, that kind of thing, it just it's the icing on the cake. So when I got back out of it and did the solo stuff, I always wanted to have a band with me.
Right.
It just always felt right. So I'll go on occasion now. I'll do my house concerts by myself, play the acoustic guitar and sing, and then I get to come and play the bigger stages with the band. It's a great, perpetuating the life in music any way you can.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the demand is there for this, I can do that, and when it's in there for this, I can do that. And it's a nice position to be in, to be able to play these different kinds of shows.
Right.
It keeps it all interesting for me. Maybe not so much for the crowd, but for me, honestly, things that, as a musician, you have to be interested in what you're doing.
Right.
You can't just go up there and be bored.
Right.
And so I enjoy this. We'll enjoy it immensely tonight playing with these kids. You guys are a lot of fun.
This new record, as you mentioned, you've been doing kids stuff for a while.
Yeah.
When you go and do a quote-unquote adult record, as you referred to it, do you find that you have to reintroduce the band to a certain segment of the audience that maybe turned away a little bit because they don't have kids and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a backlash that comes with that, of course. People roll their eyes who don't have kids and say, "Oh, kids record, whatever," But then we have those group, people that are really big fans and will still buy the kids records. That really like the music of the kids records. And let's be honest, kids records today are more sophisticated than most of the pop garbage that's on the radio. If you listen to kids records, like really good kids records, Dan Zanes, these other guys that are making really good kids music, you'll see that they do tempo changes and they do key changes. They do all these things that all of the pop groups are afraid to do because it's not cookie cutter. It's the most interesting music out there is kids' music right now. I mean, when you find the right stuff. So honestly, when people realize that, our fans realize that it could be interesting and we could do 4-part harmonies and play big guitar solos on kids' records, it turned them on to it. The people that are dismissive of it, that haven't listened to it, whatever. That happens.